Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Slice, a podcast that's focused on elevating the wealth of Africans globally, and it's brought to you by Kebu. My name is David, and I'm here today with Jam.
Hello, guys. Jam here. It's been a while. We must
Yes,
spoken.
we've not spoken for about 3 weeks now. We'll just say
Okay.
we'll just say that one was a Q1 episode. You understand? This is so Netflix does part one, part two of series now. So we take like a whole season, cut it
Mhm.
off ahead. So this is part two of season
I
two.
got to.
So it's a limited series. Okay, so on today's episode, what we are going to be discussing is cash still king.
Yeah.
Jam, can you give us like a primer on what to expect from the episode, the things that we'll be diving into, things like that?
I mean, maybe what I'm interested to even discuss on is,
Okay.
how Nigeria is primarily a very cash reliant, economy, and
Yes.
how we've evolved in the past 3 years or 4 years to
Yeah.
beating that in a way. Then I think just to double down on why cash is important even now than ever
Okay.
before, where,
Mm-hmm.
where we're looking out for different investment opportunities. You're thinking of, should I lock down my money now, or should I look for a cash flow investment that's coming in almost on a recurring basis? So I'm looking out for those data points that we can discuss on our own end.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. So just thank you for breaking that down, giving us a primer of what to expect. So without further ado, you understand, we get into it. Time is not wasting for it, it's not waiting for anybody. So we have to first start the discussion at where are we now? What is the current usage? What is the current state of cash usage in Nigeria? So where do you think we are currently in terms of cash? Is cash still relevant in today's society? Is what other word will I say now? How relevant is cash is today? Or does everybody have their money locked up in assets or things like that?
Yeah. I mean, we're still very reliant. Like the average person is probably still spending um a huge chunk of, fiscal cash here and there. I
Yeah.
think one of the things that we've seen probably in the last 2 to 3 years is the growth of a lot of these fintech platforms. So like you could see
Mm.
OPay, you see Money Point, and
So
yeah,
I have a question about that before you get into it. Just so,
yeah,
will you say that like the money in your PAMPay, your OPay, and the rest, will you consider them as cash? Because some people will consider them as, is in a bank or
yeah,
is in a digital wallet. It's not physical. Because to some people, cash is, money under your bed or money in
yeah.
your locker.
I think
But so will
for
you
us to frame,
classify?
let's frame it this way. It's for
Okay,
this for the conversation we are having on
okay.
cash, especially when it comes to trading of goods and services. We're not going to
Mm-hmm.
use the money in your account is not cash. Yes, it is cash in a way, but it's digital
So
money.
what
It's
is it?
just it's digital. It's cash in the bank. There's always in accounts we call it. We have cash in hand and cash in the bank.
Cash at hand.
Yes, exactly. So cash
Mm.
at hand is what you're using to, and that's what the CBN is trying to even reduce, because that helps with
Okay.
reducing of fraud, theft, and the likes, right? But cash in bank is
Yeah.
obviously the one that's all of the platforms, so PAMPay, OPay, that's cash in the bank, you get that kind of thing. So
Okay.
yes, it's cash, but it's categorized in two different ways on that side. But yeah, I think
Okay. But
on
it's
on the
still under
aspect
the
of
umbrella of cash.
exactly, it's under the umbrella of
All
cash.
joined, they're still cash. Okay.
That's the
Okay.
cash.
Okay.
But the aspect of like looking at OP, and because I traveled to the East recently, and I
Okay.
was surprised that everyone using OP, everyone using Money Point. And I'm just like, what's going on? It's a typical transaction
Mm.
that they will tell you you have to withdraw and give me cash. Everybody now has like one bank account, and
Yeah.
they're able to collect money from their customers if they choose to. So I think that's the new development, that's that hasn't been around. I think, and it's just been growing really aggressively within the last 3 years, post COVID. So it's something I'm really open to see how that would grow even going forward. What do you think about what's
And
going on?
just to add to that, for the past 3 years, there's been a lot of transformation in that space. There's been a
Yeah.
lot of transformation. Which year was it that we had the cash, the CBN cash?
That was last year. That
That
was
was last year.
bro. Last year was
Was
hot.
it? Yeah, that's true.
Election.
Yeah, it's last year we didn't have the slice. Yes. You're right. It's last year we didn't have the
Election year.
slice. So yes, it was last year. So between then and now, and we've also seen like major players in this space report crazy numbers. I think
Mm.
Money Point was reporting something like a new POS being activated every 10 minutes or something like that.
Can you
Some
imagine?
absurd numbers. So I believe that currently we are at the point where everyone is being in their own little way. Everyone is going for convenience. And we are getting to a point of like mass adoption. You
Yeah.
understand? So before, that's like you said, OPay 1 or 2 places. Now, you don't need to go far. There's somebody across, for example, now where I live, there's somebody directly across that does POS. So she's my bank. She's a woman,
Exactly.
she's a hairdresser. So she also has like, multiple streams of income. We should do an episode on that. So I just go there and she's my bank. And I've not had any reason this year. In fact, from like last year, I've not had any reason to go to the bank because she's there. I need to
Yeah.
deposit money, I give her. I need to withdraw money, I give her. So, do you think that because we now have our cash being more convenient, that we are spending more?
Interesting. I think I don't you could say for some people, that's
Okay.
the case, Jigga, because you can easily do like a quick transfer. The money that otherwise you won't have spent, you probably have spent it.
I just thought of something, but I don't want to forget this point. So just help me
Yeah.
store it.
Yeah.
Personal finance. Just keep it. Help me keep it. Personal
Okay.
finance.
Personal
Please go on.
finance.
Please go on.
And like for my dad now, opened he usually uses check for all his life. And last year I
Check
opened
in 2024.
yeah, he uses check. He's the definition of cash economy. He's just like cash. Okay, so if he wants to
Okay.
withdraw money from his account, he goes maybe at the beginning of the week, cashes his check, withdraws it, and that's it, right? But obviously, that's not a very safe way to sort of handle money,
Yeah.
on your own.
Yes.
So I decided to open like two all of these fintech accounts for him, bank accounts for him.
Yeah.
And the issue was one of the issues I was having with him was that he can't chant. Someone in the village would call him and be like, "Oh, I need help. I need medicine. Or I need this." And before he would have to go to the bank, stand in line
Yeah.
and transfer, or you
Yeah.
send someone to go to the village. Now it's just like, don't worry, let me settle it. Come. And the rates in which he's spending that money is higher than before anyone else.
Mm,
You could
yeah.
say that yes, the ease of payments and the ease of would I say transfer has made things a bit more have made people a bit more less cautious of how they spend money. But I think with the ease of payments and all of this, band, there's also been the ease of investments as well. Ease of options for you to
Mm,
actually make sure that your money
saving.
grows. So it's not
Okay.
like we're all left, on one side
Yeah.
and we can't see what's happening. So right now you can save. You don't have to go to the bank. You don't have to speak to anyone to open like a fixed deposit account. You don't have
Yeah.
to call your broker to tell you want to invest.
Yeah. To buy stocks.
Everything has become much more easier on a general basis, and that's created almost the same level of opportunity regardless of where you are.
So I just wanted to add to the conversation on convenience. So currently,
Mm.
India and Nigeria rank the highest when it comes to speed of mobile transfers in the world.
Interesting.
In the world, we have one of the fastest transfer systems in the entire financial system. So I think personally, when it comes to, I mentioned personal finance because I also wanted to touch on, because we're touching on different aspects of cash, talking about. So on the aspect of personal finance, so there's a tendency for us, and just like you were saying, to spend more when, I think it's called, stay with me, work with me. That's how they say it
Yeah.
on Twitter. Work with me. Availability. This grammar is plenty. Heuristic. Maybe when we edit it, we'll put the word there because the grammar.
Heuristic. Is that what
Yeah, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I've heard of that term before.
Okay, so
Um, yeah,
is
why
is
don't
our
you?
tendency is our tendency to spend more because we know that money is available.
Mm,
A lot of people, what they struggle with when it comes to saving money is that, oh, I know that the money is just there. It's just a pa pa pa, it's just a tap away. In
yeah,
fact, some apps now, all you need is your fingerprint, and your fingerprint is always on your finger. You just do like two, and money has gone. So that's why even when it comes to advising some people on saving, they will say, oh, throw it to an account that you cannot touch, an account
exactly.
that does not have a does not have an ATM card, an account that you don't have the app, an account that you don't have checkbook or anything. You're just locked there. So I think generally, because of the convenience, you also have to be careful because it's very easy to get into a space where you are spending more money because you know it is easier to transfer. There's another psychological bias or term for this in the sense of because no. So the psychological bias is like, oh, because the money is easily available,
Yeah.
we tend to spend more. So, anyways, so yeah, so I believe that when it comes to that, you have to be careful when it comes to saving money. That just because the money is there doesn't mean that you should now blow it up because it has never been easy.
Yeah.
Even back in your parents' time, they didn't have this kind of convenience. Like, all your salary
Exactly.
like this, you can blow it all. And another thing is that even on like e-commerce platforms, they're increasing limits. Before, you probably could not send like 500K at once. You have to do it. But now, 500K will go, 1M will go, 2M will go, and
Exactly.
and ahead, that's what I was trying to say. So there's a name for it. I don't want to search it up now, but it just came to my head. I saw it one time like that. Because when we hold cash and when we see it as figures on a phone, the way we perceive it is different. When we see
Mm,
it as figures on the phone, they did a whole study on this. It bites us less. And that's why you
mm,
see like even like older people, they will just withdraw like 20K like this, they'll carry 20K like this, and that's what they're
yes.
spending for the week. Or that's
Yeah.
what they're spending when they go to the market. Because they
Mm-hmm.
know that the physical act of giving you money,
Mm.
counting the money, looking at the money leave their bag is more painful than just carry up how much, add 0 0 0 0 and send. So
Mm.
that's what I was trying to remember. That's just my take on
I'm just thinking to myself
personal
whether I
finance.
should. I think I'm just thinking to myself whether if for me to reduce my own spending, whether I should just withdraw money for the week in cash and just watch myself spend it and just budget like, okay, I'm going to spend this amount, have it in cash, and just work towards doing that. Whereas
I
forward
think
or transfer.
when it comes to things like this, I'm always of the idea that experiment as much as possible.
Mm,
Experiment because all of us we have our own way of doing it. For some people, immediately the bulk money comes, they will just throw away every other thing that they know that they will not be needing that month and keep all the money in there. I know somebody that he has a daily withdrawal system. So he has the
mm,
amount of money he must spend every day. So he sets like a limit daily. So like this thing so it's one thing to say just save money, but you have to find what works for you. For
mm,
some people, they know that it's towards the end of the month that is their own temptation period. You understand?
mm,
So they have to make sure that before they have transferred any other money, they have locked it up because they will fall. If so, just experiment. So if you do that, please let us know how it went and how we can also, adapt.
yeah, I'll try it. Don't worry. I'll try
Yeah.
it.
So do you see any negatives of our cash dependency? Because cash is more now. In fact, I was just thinking about it. There are two creations. I was telling someone the other day. There are two inventions. I don't know if they are inventions in regards to Nigeria, but there are two adoptions I'm super grateful for. The first one is a POS. So like your own
Yeah.
personal bank is beside you. Then the second one, I think is 5G. Yeah,
Mm,
I think it's 5G, probably 5G. So I'm just trying to realize now how much access we have to cash.
yeah.
Okay, no, not 3 years ago, 5 years ago, we did not have POS everywhere.
Yeah.
Everybody has POS, down to the person selling drinks, something as little as drinks. The place,
Yeah.
your local booker, they have POS. So like cash is now just everybody's doing in the fintechs, in the startup space, we have a term transaction volume. So how
Mm,
much money flows? Everybody's transaction volume is just going up. So I'm just realizing now like how massive the impact has
massive
been.
it is.
Anyway, so yeah, so do you see any negatives of cash dependency? We have so much cash going in, coming out, POS this, POS that, mobile money. In fact, there's POS, there's mobile money, there's cash agents, there's so many, and everybody's in the space, both banks, both telecoms, both fintechs, everybody is inside. So do you see any negatives of this much cash dependency?
I look at it differently. So I feel like um the POS is even helping to reduce the cash dependency in a way. So the way I look at it is these POS are businesses. A lot of it is
Yes?
like you mentioned, your hairdresser, you get. She's a
Yes.
business person, right?
Yes,
You
yes.
would come in and say, okay, in the money that she's using to pay you, it's probably from her business that she's generating cash, right? The
Yeah.
cash that she's giving you that you want to withdraw. But where do you send the money to? To a bank account, right? So in
Yes.
essence, you're helping to mop out money, like actual physical cash in hand, out of the system with the POS. So I look at it in that format than
Okay.
any other format. And these are businesses like every single place. If you notice, I think if you notice most of the businesses that are doing all this POS stuff, they're actually using the cash they've generated during the day instead of them going to the
Yes.
bank to cash it in or carrying it and then being
A,
robbed.
a
They
perfect
can just
example. A
yeah.
perfect example. I just remember this now. A perfect example is filling stations. Filling
uh,
stations are some of the biggest POS, like POS providers. So they get that cash, they give the POS guys beside them. That's true. That's true. That's true.
so the some of the things so and this is again credit to the CBN on some of the policies that they are implementing to make sure that they've sort of digitized how cash and payments is being done even on a
Okay.
local level, right? So I feel like even like the POS itself is actually it's a cashless policy implementation, you get, and that's
Mm.
been it's I think the other thing that CBN has really done is to sort of limit how much you can withdraw from the ATM. So that's
Oh, there's a limit.
yeah, I don't even know how much you can withdraw from an
Mm.
ATM. In a day, there's actually a limit. You can't withdraw probably over 100K or something. I'm sure they've reduced it at some
Okay.
point. They reduced it again. I don't know whether it's 50K. I'll probably check on that.
But then
But
again,
like
we don't notice because people who demand that much money, they probably have like a POS or something.
yeah, they probably have a POS, but there was a time I used to maybe when I want to go to the market or something and I'm buying for a large group of people. And I know that
Yeah.
if I go to the market, they might not have POS at that point in time.
Yeah.
So I have to go with cash because even if I transfer, there's nobody to transfer to. Jigger. So
So,
I'll go to the ATM, withdraw the money, can withdraw 100K, or I can use two different cards to withdraw 200K, right? Then I'll go to the market and now buy stuff. Jigger. But
okay.
that's right now, that's not really a problem because everybody will transfer to me. I can go to
Yeah.
markets and I can transfer to, everybody has PAMPay or OPay. So
Yeah.
it's way
Everybody has
easier.
pumping.
It's way
Yeah.
easier. And those are the things that I think CBN has sort of done to sort of allow people to be transferring more instead of withdrawing, instead of using cash. So there have been a ton of positives really um on that angle. In terms of negatives, like carrying cash is dangerous. Everybody knows like carrying cash
Yeah.
is a dangerous thing.
It's dangerous.
And the cool thing is, so there's the danger of it being stolen. There's also like the aspect of inflation, like eating up on it. One of the things that all of these fintech apps they do is that because you open OP, you open PalmPay, all of those Kuda, whatever.
Yeah.
There is the banking side of it and there is the savings side of it. So they allow you to
Yes.
think of, okay, this your cash that you would
They are
otherwise
always moving.
you can actually put some away and gain some interest. Granted, it might not be above inflation rates, but it's still an interest that you wouldn't have gotten if it was under your
Yeah.
bed or something like that. So I think those are
Yeah.
like the things that you can think of when looking at the way um cashless policy has actually grown so far.
Okay. I think on my own end, I think just as what you were saying about inflation and looking at the money supply. So there's a direct so for people who don't know money supply is, think of money supply as the transaction volume of the economy. So how much money, what is transaction volume? Let's say you're a payment app and people send, let's say in a day, 500,000 has flown through, people on your app, that your transaction volume is 500,000. So now we're looking on a bigger scale, on a macro scale. In economics, they say macro, so bigger. So we're looking at an economic scale as in Nigeria as a country, how much is flowing. Usually, when there's more cash in the system, it means that the money supply has increased. And when there's money, so when money supply increases, inflation actually goes up. Why? You have more money chasing fewer goods. So more money chasing fewer goods. What does that mean? Supply is staying constant, meanwhile demand is rising. Remember that demand is the cash. So there's more money chasing. So let's say they were like this before, but now there's more money chasing it. So that's inflation. So I think that's a very key negative consequence of our transaction volume blowing up the way it is, the inflation. And but then again, there are other major, causes of inflation, especially on a macro scale. We have the whole exportation, importation thing that we still need to go on. We'll probably cover that in one of the episodes down, maybe in part 3 this year, you understand? Part 3. So that's for me is a very major negative for cash. Then also because our money is not being mopped up in like savings, and then again, remember that Nigerians don't have pension, we don't have credits, we don't have credit facilities. For example, if you take someone in the West, this is their salary, but if you break it down, a percentage of their salary is going to mortgage. A percentage of their salary is going to a car note. What is a car note? A credit on a car. They bought a car on credit. A percentage of their salary is going to their phone bill and like all those other things. By the time you stack it up, there's little or no cash really in the system. But we don't have those kind of things. So like it's just cash, paying bills. I'm sure there are bills there, cash market, blah blah blah, blah and all that. A major negative of another of more cash in the system too is the issue of fraud. The issue of fraud. The issue of fraud. I think Access Bank or so. Banks did their reportings recently. I think Access Bank had 6 billion or so in fraud losses.
Yeah.
It's just, and the thing about it is that it's not just, physical cash that can be stolen. Even on the mobile monies, on the digital wallets and all that, that they are very liable to be stolen. So we have that risk. So, but generally, what do you think the positives of having cash available are? And do you think like the positives outweigh the negatives?
Yeah. I generally think that in terms of what do you call it? In terms of positives for cash, maybe just the fact that, and again, this is looking out in a whether cash in bank or cash at
Yeah,
home.
cash and hand. I think we should just use that umbrella, cash. Yeah.
So like number one is just being open to opportunities. So anything can happen.
That was actually, I was going to say that. I was going to say that. So
Jigga,
like, yeah,
anything can happen. So you just want to be able to seize opportunities. And if your cash is
yeah.
always locked up, or if most of your cash is locked up, if an opportunity comes, you're sort of limited to what you can do about it. So
Yes.
an investment opportunity can come, a business opportunity can come, a
You
type
can
of
come,
opportunity can come, anything can happen. So
but your money is
cash is
locked in.
always exactly cash is always important in that sense. And maybe just for emergencies, like just being able to settle things that can happen on the fly.
Yeah.
I don't know, most
Because
people, I
Nigeria
don't
is
know how
very
many,
full of emergencies. The insurance industry is very,
no, the thing is that I feel like
very
Nigerians, the insurance industry is actually growing and it's doing well. They're actually very affordable
okay.
insurance plans. Cars for health. I've seen insurance plan of 1,200 every single month. I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen insurance. So they
That one
actually,
goes far.
they're actually like plans that you can tap into and be able to do something. And but again, we don't because of insurance is not an you're paying for something in the future. It's like you're investing, far thinking. You don't see the immediate results. It just feels like you're dashing some money. That's what it feels like.
Mm,
Until one day you need it. Okay, I think
until one day.
I think those are like the two reasons, why I feel, those are positives to have. But regardless of those things, having so much, you should always make sure that it's not a lot. Just having so much cash around
So
can
what do you
be.
think? What do you think is a good balance between? So let's lump savings and investments together because savings is really for the future, investment is for the
Yeah,
future. Let's lump them. What do you think is a good balance between future and present? So that's cash
you can.
versus. What do you think is a good balance?
I mean, so for savings, I'm guessing that I don't know whether it's locked or, so let's say that, let's put it locked money and liquid money. Let's just put it that way. So something that you can
Mm-hmm.
easily,
Locked money, liquid money.
so locked money is something that you probably cannot access even if you wanted to.
Yeah.
You can't touch it. Then because of what's happening in the fintech space and savings space, there's actually money that savings, emergency funds that are any interest that are used for emergencies that can happen and that can secure you for maybe a month, 2 months, 3 months, that kind of thing. And those ones are fine to actually build. The way I look at it is you need to just have enough liquidity to in that emergency fund. So you need to have enough cash that you can withdraw that can settle
Yeah.
anything that you would need, any emergency that you need within the 1 to 3 months like duration, right? So I
Yeah.
think that's the best way to look at it. Then every other thing can be just a day-to-day cash payment that you can use to handle. But I always recommend that just have something liquid that you can always withdraw, when you need something to move on. And usually should be like an expense, like your typical expense that
Yeah.
you make between 1 to 3 months,
Yeah.
yeah, that kind of thing.
Okay. I think just to add to that, I think there's also the opportunity to enjoy the best of both worlds. And that's one of the things we do here on the slides. We give you updates, as we put it, give you updates. So the update is that it is possible for you to have your money in something that earns in let's call it an instrument that earns you money, but at the same time, it is liquid enough for you that at moment's notice, you can remove your money. One of them, we actually offer a product like that. I think Jam, can you shed more light on that?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing we've done is we've made it possible for people to have dollar savings. So what that means is that you can essentially, you know, convert your NGN, or if you have dollars, if you earn in dollars, or you're based abroad, you can essentially put that in a liquid account, a dollar account. And instead of it not generating interest at all, you generate interest every single month, based on how much you've
And it's also
invested.
liquid.
It's also you can withdraw anytime. There are no fees on that, so it's very liquid. It's usually invested in like mutual funds and the likes. So that is that. Then we also have like investment products that it's called flexible investments. You can actually invest, but instead of locking the interest, you can start earning interest every three months based on how
What
much you
does that mean,
invest as
locking
well.
the interest? Just give
So
give like an
so
example.
yeah, so
So like
typically
use a typical investment example, then use like what is special about this one.
Yeah, so typically what you can do before you would say, oh, I have 100K. I put it inside this investment,
Okay.
and this investment is meant to yield 10% at the end of 12 months, right? So
Okay.
that's 10K, right? Still at 10%. So you would have to wait till the end of 12 months to earn your 100K and your 10K. That's 110K.
And
Yeah.
so you're
So what
not
we're
seeing that
doing now,
money at all till that
you're
time.
not seeing that money at all. But in this case, what we're doing is that part of 10K, that 10K that you would have earned 12 months from now, you start earning it during the 12 months. So you might earn maybe
Mm.
2K in 3 months, another 2K in the next 3 months, and like that, like that, like that. What that does is that because we mentioned the positives of cash, you can have enough money for emergencies, even though while you're growing your investments. You can also have enough money to see some opportunities that you otherwise would have missed while
Not
when you
have.
were investing. Exactly. So I think those are the good positives, and those are the offerings that we have right now. You can go download Kebble and see, to see how those offerings work on your own end.
Okay. Thank you for that breakdown. So I mean, we always give updates, so that's the update for this episode. So as we begin to round up now, the future of cash and payments in Nigeria, I think we should also talk more on that now. Personally, I see the POS becoming more. I see POS
David,
operators becoming
David,
more
David,
widespread.
I think we should end it now, then start again so that
Okay, okay, so
since
that
you're
we just do
already
that last section.
exactly.
Okay, that's fine. So as we begin to round up now, I think a very important point to touch is where do you see the future of cash dependency or independency going forth, let's say in the next 5, 10 years for Nigerians?
I mean, it's very obvious. A lot of people would, you know how it is strange for people to use um in the US now
Check.
in check. That's how crazy it is. That oh, you're shouting that check. That's how you see like someone holding 1,000 and be like, what is this?
Well, do you really see it gets to that point where even to hold money, you'd be like, what's wrong with this
So
person?
I know that like in the US now, if you're withdrawing over $1,000 in cash, they flag it. Like they just flag.
Wait. Over $1,000, they flag it.
Sorry, over $10,000, they flag it.
Okay.
10,000. So it's like
Of
you
your
get to
own
that point
money in
of
your
your
own
own
bank,
money. This is not ATM, or you just go to like you go inside your bank to
the
withdraw
bank.
it. They'll flag it. They'll flag it. So I think we're getting to the
Mm,
point where it's easier, it's more convenient for people to actually use cash, and it's only going to get better with each
yeah,
generation that is coming on board.
yeah,
Because who wants to be carrying problem up and down? Then you can just use your Face ID to transfer to your friend. I mean, so yeah, that I think that's
understand.
where we're going to, and that means that a lot of these fintech platforms, a lot of these banking institutions, they're going to make a lot of money because if we are mopping all of the cash in our all of the cash in hand or cash at hand in our ecosystem and putting it in the banking side of things, you see a lot of
Yeah,
transparency, a lot of money movement, a lot of beautiful
yeah,
companies. Revenue is going to be generated moving forward.
yeah.
Everybody's access to
Transaction volume.
exactly. Everybody's access to financial instruments will also grow as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good positive for everyone else.
Okay. So,
But
on
what
my
do you
own
think?
end of
How do you
things,
think would your kids know what 10,000 naira is?
what cash is? Hopefully, because the other part of this equation is the inflation part, so that one too is there. So
That
I think that one is there because I think as far back as because I was talking to a relative recently, and as far back as this was like 2008, a
yeah.
bag of rice was 4,000 naira.
Wow.
In my mind, I was like, 4K for a bag of like, is it 10 kgs? And I said, no, it's 50 kgs. You get what I'm saying? So, I mean, the inflation part is there. I think the future, we'll see more people, what's the term? Banking the unbanked. You understand? So we'll see, yeah, everybody's always banking the unbanked. More
Banking
people,
the
sha,
unborn too. Everybody will be coming.
the unborn, hey. So I think in the future, we'll see more banking of the unbanked. I see a situation whereby NIBSS, is it NIBBS? Nigeria Interbank Settlement Scheme. Okay, so
NIBSS.
NIBSS.
Yeah.
So I see
NIBS.
NIBSS improving drastically because at the end of the day, all this mobile transfer, blah, 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 they're still at the mercy of NIBSS. If
Yeah.
NIBSS say we are not working, the only thing that can happen is intra-bank transfer.
Mm.
So if NIBSS is down and a Zenith user wants to send to another Zenith user, it will go. But if NIBSS is down, you cannot send to a UBA or GT and all that. I'm just providing more context. So I see it improving drastically. Hopefully, because another thing when it comes to all these policies is that is the CBN going to take these things seriously or not?
Yeah.
Because ideally, we should have a situation whereby an agency like that is consistent, is focused, you understand? But all of us saw in 2023 what happened. They changed the notes, and today I don't know if you remember, but it was a whole episode, it was a whole season. People were selling new notes. People were
Yeah.
selling up their old notes. I remember someone literally hawking old notes in Ikeja. Person was hawking old notes in Ikeja. So just that whole back and forth was it's not good. So if they sit down and say this is our roadmap for the next 5, 10 years, let us put more money, let's boost up NIBSS. Um, let's also ask because if they say that they don't want newcomers to come in and change things, then our adoption is going to be slower. This vision that we
Yeah.
have is going to be much slower because one beauty of like fintech, new guys in the space is that they bring competition, they bring innovation. Everybody knows, and I mentioned examples so that for clarity, what MoneyPoint has done
Yeah.
in, for example, the POS space, where I remember the first time I saw the feature, I was like, I can transfer money to you and your POS will see it. And you
Yeah.
know, they had that loud thing. I
Mad.
was like, at first I was, no, this is jazz. Because I'd never seen it before. So, but if they were not in that space, or if let's say the CBN now said, okay, we are going for your license, come and give us license, we are creating a new,
Yeah.
if the CBN literally says they want to shut down a company, there is nothing you want to do.
Yeah.
Unless you want
Nothing.
to go and call Lord Lugard, and Lord Lugard is dead. You
Yeah.
understand? So
Understand.
they have to be in a position whereby they have a roadmap, they are consistent, their goal is consistent. We are not having cash is the goal this year. Next year is we are attacking all anybody that is not our own. And number three, that they are supporting people in this space. And number four, that they are also rooting out the bad guys. Because as much as all this transaction volume is going up, fraud is growing up.
Yeah.
Anybody that's even in like the fintech spaces will tell you that, wow, there's a lot of fraud. There's a lot of bad actors. So those four things, I think if they can, so let's just say the Nigerians, the way I see it, the cash future of Nigeria depends on CBN. So yeah, I think that brings us to the end of today's
Yeah.
episode. Thank you so much. I hope you're able to learn one or two. Don't forget our hack. If you need to go back, so just rewind, go back to the hack. If there's nothing you listen to, go back to the hack. Because we are always, this year is all about practical things you can do. So that it's not just we are talking in the sky. So yeah, so thank you for joining in today. Welcome to part 2 of season 2. So we're going to be dropping more consistently. We're looking at dropping every week. We are looking and also having new guests on the show too. So stay tuned for that. Then also, just like Jam mentioned, there's some awesome cable products out now. We have the saving, then we have the flexible investment. So please do check that out. You
Yeah.
can download our app. You can check out at www.cable.co. So once again, thank you. And also, it will really encourage us if you reach out. You listen to the podcast, you reach out and say, oh, hi guys, I learned this. Or, just, or you don't like your podcast, Jam shirt is too green, baby shirt is too black. Just, some sort of feedback. So we'll really appreciate it. So once again, thank you everyone. And thank you,
Thanks,
Jam, for
everyone.
joining in.
Thanks,
Yeah.
everyone.
Bye.
Peace out.